What's up, YouTube? It's your man, that dude, bringing you guys another video. Now, I'm honestly upset that I haven't heard about this anime before, if you can call it that. I don't know what you call animated shows out of China, but for the sake of this video, I'm going to call it an anime. But I'm honestly upset I haven't heard about this show before. It is honestly a refreshing show, and that show is Scissor Seven. If you haven't seen it, I highly recommend you go check it out. I think it is a hilarious action comedy anime. A lot of times, comedy anime, comedy doesn't go really well between cultures. Like sometimes things we find funny in the West aren't really funny in the East, or in other continents, and vice versa. But this show, I think, the comedy translates really well into the Western culture, in my opinion. I find it hilarious. I find the visual gags that the show has, they work really well, for me at least. And I don't have the highest standard for comedies. I'm all about highbrow comedy. I can enjoy a nice visual gag. And this show has that. The visual gags are really good. The art style, I know a lot of people might be turned off by, but I like the art style. After watching a few episodes, I see what the art style enables, the writers and the animators to do. There are some things that are traditional anime art style that you might not be able to do. Where with this one, it lends itself to the visual gags that the show is going for. And so I think it works really well in that aspect. And then just the action that the show has, the action is really fluid. It flows really well, surprisingly so. I wasn't expecting the action to be actually as good as what it is. But it's really fluid, it flows really well. The choreography is really good. And the action itself is comedic. They use the action plays in with the visual gags and adds to the comedic element of the show. So I want to say there's an episode where he's fighting a group of old ladies, and they treat it like a boss battle where the old ladies have all these random powers and power-ups, and he's getting thrown against walls and punched to the air. And the action in those scenes is really fluid. It's a similar kind of action that you would find in a Naruto or insert whatever shonen you want, where he's flying through the air and there's buildings being destroyed and that kind of stuff. But it's in this little 10-minute per episode comedy show out of China, and it's really good. So don't be turned off by the animation style right away. Give it a few episodes. I think it'll grow on you like it did me. Some ways like Mob Psycho. Mob Psycho, a lot of people looked at the animation style and probably didn't give the show a chance just based off that. But if they stuck around for it, they will see what the animation style allows the animators and the writers to do. With this, is pretty much the same way. So give it a few episodes. I think you'll like it. If you like action, if you like comedy, this show's right down your alley. Now, it doesn't have an overarching plot. They've hinted at a few things that can maybe lend itself towards a plot, but for the most part, it's just episodic. Every storyline is contained within the episode. The episodes are about 10 minutes long. Once you factor in an intro and an outro, they're about 10 minutes. So it's a great show it's very binge worthy. It's a great show to binge, put it that way. You can get in, you can bang out, 5 or 6 episodes in an hour or so, and you're good to go. And each episode has, more than a few big laughs from me. So I want to say it's episode 2 or 3 where, he's hired to go by a gang of cats to go assassinate the leader of a gang of dogs. And when he gets there, he disguises himself as a dog, spoilers. And so he's about to assassinate the leader of the gang of dogs, when he finds out that the reason he was hired for the assassination attempt isn't, any kind of generic beef between cats and dogs. It's because the leader of the gang of the cats is a jaded lover, and she's in love with the leader of the gang of dogs. And pretty much there, it devolves into pretty much a love story. The main character of the show is kind of secondary for 5 minutes or so. And it's just about the leader of these two gangs getting back together and their love story. And it's really hilarious. The show had me hooked from that moment on. And I knew I was going to enjoy it just from that. Because just that kind of absurd humor is right down my alley. So if you haven't seen Scissor Seven, I highly recommend you go check it out. It's on Netflix, so it's easily available for a lot of people. If you don't have Netflix, other means. But go check it out. Go watch it. I'm surprised I haven't heard about this show before. I think a lot of people are gonna like it. It's really funny, and if you're into that kind of stuff, you'll love it. But that's all I have for you guys. See you next time.